So Project Looking Glass was a government operation to serve the elite class, to look into the future for the purposes of orchestrating the current state of being to shape whatever future they wanted. They could control the variables once they viewed the future to ensure that certain outcomes played out. But what they saw horrified them. They did not like what they saw in the future. And no matter how they tried to manipulate it, there was no future outcome that served them. What they saw was all possible timelines led to a convergence. Meaning that no matter what timeline they rode, no matter what option, there was only one outcome. And that outcome is light wins, and the ruling elite class is exposed and destroyed. That's what they saw that terrified them. And they tried and tried to punch as many holes through time and space as they could. That is what is going on with CERN. Trying to orchestrate or work out some other outcome, but there is no other outcome. There is no other outcome. That's the problem. But what we are living through now, this chaos that we're living through now, is their final attempt to maintain control. These are their death rattles, because it is all falling apart, and there is nothing they can do about it. And they already knew, they already saw this was coming. So it's sort of a no-holds-bar fight now. They have nothing to lose. And they have to try everything they can think of. But there is no workaround to this situation because light wins. So I mentioned that to bring your awareness to we're in the middle of a psyop right now. This is a psychological operative that we're living through right now. This is part of their strategy. This psychological operative is designed to make us feel helpless, hopeless, powerless, defeated. That's how they want us to feel. That's what they want us to believe. They want the current system to stay in place because they're the ones in control right now. They're the puppet masters. They want things to remain the same. And they want to do us into also holding on to the status quo. We have to let the system fall apart. We have to let the system crumble. Because they are the ones running the system. And their time is over. So get your head in the game. Understand what is happening. Understand that when the world seems like it's falling apart, our governmental system seems like it's falling apart, when it seems like sanity has left the planet, this has to happen. This is part of the convergence. All of these wrongdoings, all of this evil has to be brought to light. And all these systems that have supported and housed and shielded these evil people, those systems have to come down. They have to come down. Don't fight for them to stay in place because you were fighting for the elite to stay in power. We have to let the collapse happen. So, as we move through this chaos and uncertainty and uncomfortableness, remember, this is part of the convergence. This is what is supposed to be happening. And the outcome is light wins. There is only one possible outcome. There is no other outcome. The only possible outcome is light wins. And they know it.
Shalom, shalom. Call Haloyam La Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Recha Kodash. Brakatah Yahweh, Brakatah Yahushai, Brakatah Recha Kodash, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Recha Kodash. Shalom, a double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone. Shalom to the elder bishops and the elders and the Akim and Akwathium of the hopeful elect. Shalom. Want to go into a quick video here entitled Project Looking Glass. Esau seen his inevitable demise, or something of that nature, you know. It's a very fascinating topic. That recording was a video from a brother that posted that, the elder brother, Manata Zagba from GMS, South Carolina. And I seen this video actually a couple of days prior to this one, and a very good topic to go into. It's very fascinating because why the so-called white man, he has access to certain technology on the left-hand side, and he was able to see into the future. It was very interesting, you know. See into the future and saw that he is going to go down. He saw that he's going to be brought out of rulership and be destroyed because he's only meant to rule for a short season, you know, as prophesied for the visions in the book of Daniel of the 4 beasts and the statue of 4 different metals, right? With gold, silver, bronze, 4 different. And then the feet of the bear, you know, going to Russia. That's going to take down. So, you know, he was terrified and mortified. She said, that lady in the video said that, you know, and they're mortified and terrified, you know, especially seeing the prophets awakening too, and he see that it's all coming together, but he's doing his best to try to punch, as she said, punch holes, I guess, in, you know, whatever technology he has on the left hand side to try to change the course of the future. And he's done that, you know, and he has movies with that same plot, you know, where a person have to go back in time to change the future, right? That's all it is. It's basically the Project Looking Glass, where he's trying to change the future by, you know, he think he can just randomly do different things, which will create, you know, a different future, a different outcome. And I said this a few years ago when I was covering that the Russian and Ukraine war that they were having. Because what Esau did over there, what he's trying to do, basically also, everything he's doing is to try to subvert biblical prophecy. Like, he's trying to do his best to install and inject the Eastern hemisphere with the Western hemisphere philosophies and homosexuality and all of it, and feminism, right? And whoredom, because he's trying to change up society and trying to he's trying to turn everything upside down over there as well, even though it's all heathen wickedness over there too. But America, the Western Hemisphere, is the most evil culture, the most degenerate and most harmful culture of all cultures on earth. And thinking that he could try to impede on Russian landmass and try to take over that and inject their spoiled philosophies, you know. So as we see, everything that Esau does is to destroy civilization and try to because the only way he can rule is through mass chaos. That's why America is Babylon the Great confusion. He has to keep the people in great confusion. That's the only way that he can rule. But like the Most High said, you cannot pluck out of my hand. Either on the right hand side, you can't pluck out of his hand, or on the left hand side. So let's go ahead and grab some precepts. You know, it's very fascinating that lady broke that down. So Luke 12:2. For there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed, neither hid that shall not be known. And I believe is because his strength is secrecy, right? Like a snake that's why I say a snake in the grass, because he's the serpent from the garden, and he rules by hiding in the weeds, just like the movie Wizard of Oz, right? At the end, the one causing all the problems was a man behind the curtain, right? So that's his secrecy. But then when he's revealed, then it's like, oh, he ain't nothing, you know. He's a piece of trash, and he's a very small man, you know. So let's see. I was gonna get something else. Oh yeah, let me see. I think This is it here. Yeah. And 2 Thessalonians 2 and 3. Let no man deceive you by any means. And we know that so-called white man, he's the chief deceiver of the earth, the devil the Bible speaks of. For that day shall not come. What day? The great return, the brightness of the return of Yahushua, except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. You see, as we read in Luke 12 and 2, there's nothing that's covered that should not be uncovered, nothing hid that will not come to light, right? So now, guess what? So right here, the Most High, that goes into this verse as well. That man of sin, that falling away, come first, and then he being revealed. That man of sin, the so-called white man, So everything's being uncovered, and then she's revealing this Project Looking Glass, which is a very fascinating topic. I want to look into that some more because that's very heavy. That this devil has the type of technology to be able to, see into the future like that, and everything, all lanes led to his demise and destruction. Every road. So I made a video a couple years ago, at least I think some years ago, that like all roads lead to the mark of the beast, So no matter what, everything leading to it. So just like Esau's his existence and his judgment, all roads, all timelines leads to his destruction, because we know pride goes before destruction. The man of perdition, man of destruction. So he gonna hit his pride went first and triumphing, and then the end of it's going to be destruction. So let's get not Revelation, but Romans 13 and verse 1. Let every soul be subject unto the higher powers, for there is no power but of Yahweh. In the name of Yahweh Shai, the powers that be are ordained of Yahweh. So that lets you know right there. People say, "What How is he ruling?" But it's the Lord's will that he rules for a season. It's the whole part of the script, part of the movie, the Most High created for the heathen to rule for a season. Different heathen nations ruled throughout in the past, but they just had their time in the sun, and then they can't gainsay, say they never had a chance to rule, and you see what happens when they rule, nothing but heathen gods and false gods and madness. And so now it's Esau. It's been Esau's turn to rule for a short season, and it's only for a temporary time frame. And no matter what he does, the so-called white man, he can't change it. And the Most High, he ordains the powers, and he plants them, and then he plucks up. Right? That's in Ecclesiastes 3, a time under the heavens for everything. Right? Verse 2. Whosoever therefore resisted the power, resisted the ordinance of Yahweh. So anyone trying to change change the way society is, it's the Most High allowing it and ordaining it to occur for a season for his ultimate purpose, to give the Israelites the kingdom of heaven. So it says, and they that resist shall receive to themselves damnation. So you're going to be destroyed because you try to overthrow the rulership in the earth without, because the scriptures say, let all things be done decently and in order. So this is the order the Most High has set. Henceforth, like the word right here, ordinance. So it's the orders of the Heavenly Father. No one understand the Most High's way, purpose, ways and how he do things. No one can understand it. His thoughts are higher than our thoughts, right? As he's all the way in the heaven, in heaven, right? And we're on earth, so are his thoughts that much higher than ours. So, we just suffer for a season. It's chiefly because we went off and we sinned against the Heavenly Father, and he's chastening us for a season, and allowing the serpent to rule over us, that cruel Lord, that cruel, beastly, ferocious, savage nation. Okay, now we'll go to Luke 16 and 26. And beside all this, between us and you, there is a great gulf fixed, so that they which would pass from hence to you cannot, neither can they pass to us that will come from thence. So Yahushua, this is in red, Yahushua speaking, the Messiah, right? And this is the parable, of the poor man and rich man. So, and Yahushua basically letting Esau know that there's a go fixed. So there's a great separation between the Israelites and the Edomites. And if anyone would want to try to go over to them, they can't. And if anyone from over there and their nation come over here to sup with us, they cannot, because the Most High had put a clear separation between us. And it's just like his boundaries and his rulership. And I actually was supposed to get this one first, but it all goes together. Job chapter 14 and verse 5. Seeing his days are determined, the number of his months are with thee. Thou hast appointed his bounds that he cannot pass. You see, he's trying to pass his bounds by punching different holes in the timeline or time frame through whatever, however this technology he has over there at CERN, right? Trying to punch holes in time, trying to change the course, trying to change the course of the prophecies. So time is about prophet. The time is flowing with prophecy, and it's headed to a destination, right? In the future, and his future is going to be met. His future is going to converge, into him being destroyed. And so that's that bounds that he cannot pass. He's trying to change. He's trying to remove those boundaries of his rulership. He's trying to make it, because he's trying to give himself the kingdom of heaven, and this digital economy is his ultimate way. To get people to have that grain of rice in their hand or forehead, to try to lock down society and mankind underneath that digital economy and rule forever, and make everybody sell out to him. Excuse me. Try to make everybody sell out to him, so that he can do what? Try to have that rulership forever. That's him trying to take back his birthright. But we know that this devil cannot succeed, because the Heavenly Father has him in a box of rulership, a bounds that he cannot extend beyond, no matter how much he tries. Revelation, let's see, 12 and verse 12. Therefore rejoice. Let me see. No, let's get. I want to get 10 first. No, we get 12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. See, the Bible call him the devil. The devil has come down, and devil means slanderer, false accuser, and he's a deceiver, right? And I'll get that just to prove it, because you always have a scoffer or two. Little gremlins hanging around. Let's see, devil. Prone to slander, slanderous, accusing falsely. So you see, false accuser, a calumniator. It's just a liar. It's an unsavory spirit. Filthy spirit. Low-level demon. So, for the devil has come down to you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. That's why society is all messed up and destroyed, because Esau, he's destroying this economy and everything. The petrodollar, which is no longer the petrodollar, because the Arabs have basically allowing other nations to buy the Saudi Arabians are allowing people to buy their oil in different currencies, like the yuan, the Chinese yuan, right? And so that was the America's strength, was that pact that they made with Saudi Arabia. That was the strength of their Federal Reserve note, which is no money. It's just paper backed by oil. That was the strength of oil. Now that the oil no longer backing that dollar, now it's nothing but as good as toilet paper. It's about to be real soon. And so that's why he's coming down with great wrath, because everything is falling apart as he's seen. When he looked into that looking glass to look into the future, you know, and it mortified him, right? Let's see. Let me get this right quick too. Right there, this movie right here, Spider-Man: No Way Home, fundamentally changes the future of the MCU. That's the Marvel comic universe by resetting Peter Parker's trajectory, removing his Stark technology, and erasing his civilian identity from memory. You see, so it says it also reshapes the past by creating new branching timelines where cured villains survive. This forces a brand new day, turning him into a classic independent hero. So it says a lot right there. So see, his movies depicts that as well. You know, because he's seen into the future. He's seen into the future, and so like in these, there's various movies in the past I've seen, and now what he does in these movies, the plot is a man must go back in time, you know, and do something in the past to change the outcome, you know, of the future. So that's what the project Looking Glass is. You know, they make movies about it because that's what he's trying to do in reality, with like that CERN time machine deal, trying to punch into time to change the future. He's trying to change the future in real life. You know, this man is he's a maniac. So, and I also looked up, you know, movies like that. So it says classic change the past movies. Back to the Future, 1985. Marty McFly is accidentally sent to 1955, where he must ensure his teenage parents fall in love to prevent himself from fading out of existence. Okay, that's kind of similar, you know. So the future, he'll fall out of existence if he don't make sure his parents gets, you know. So trying to affect the future for his good, you know, basically. So Terminator 2, Judgment Day says a cyborg is sent back to protect a young John Connor from a more advanced Terminator, with the explicit goal of preventing a future AI-driven apocalypse. Judgment Day. See, but you see, they showed the AI robots way back in the 90s, in the late 80s with the first one, with the first Terminator movie, and then the second one as well, right? Because AI is going to play a major role in end time as well. You know, they're going to be having a lot of robots more than likely roaming around. It's going to be chaos. And so, see right here, so Arnold Schwarzenegger played the good guy in part two, right? As he went back in time to try to stop that more advanced Terminator that guy with that run, that memorable run, chasing after that boy on that dirt bike, right? And he was trying to kill the boy. So basically, that Terminator chasing that boy on that dirt bike. That's like Herod was trying to slay Yahushua as a baby to prevent, you know, because that boy's supposed to be like the chosen, like some chosen boy he was gonna be the one to lead mankind to overthrow the machines. And so the machines are trying to kill him as a young boy, so that he won't grow up to lead the revolt against, you know, to lead the charge of humanity to overthrow the machine. So that's you see how that goes together. So that's how Herod tried to do the same thing. You see, even way back then, they was trying to change biblical prophecy of Yahushua leading the Israelites and overthrowing them. You see, and that's heavy. It just came to me right there, you know, in the spirit. That's real heavy. Esau's been trying to change prophecy. I show you that he's been knowing for a long time. And now he has the technology. He's that red dragon now, because the serpent turned dragon, serpent smaller, slithering on the ground. Now dragon flies in the air. So that show you he's fully matured. So that technology is he fully perfected his technology now, and he's able to punch into time. And now he couldn't get Yahushua 2,000 years ago, right? So now he's trying to punch holes, and he's trying to change it now with the technology. You know, that's heavy right there. That's real heavy in the spirit. So you know, it's devil. You know, anybody trying to say the so-called white man is very, very ignorant to the biblical prophecies and understanding. You know, because this man is diabolical. Anyone with proper understanding can see that this man ain't right, and that there is no saving him, according to the Holy Scriptures and according to his spirit and how he acts and how he's blasphemous and profane. Hebrews 12:16 says, "Lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau, that sold his birthright for a morsel of meat, though he sought it carefully with tears." So he's trying to now he's tried to he tried to get his birthright back from from his dad, father Isaac, right? Esau cried when he realized Jacob took the birthright, but it was already prophesied when they were born, right? That the elder shall serve the younger. But now that he tried to get it back, by crying those crocodile tears. He's a very insincere devil. He don't care about anything. He lives in the moment, and then he don't think about his future because he's a low level person. A beastly thinking man. And so all he care about is his next meal, right? And then when the future finally comes, now you want to try to cry, like he's been done so wrong when he's the one doing the wrong. Try to gaslight you and do reverse psychology, but he's the devil, right? And so, yeah, man, he's been trying to get the birthright since then. And so now X-Men, in this movie here, X-Men Days of Future Past, you see why is Esau always making these types of movies, you see? Because he's trying to do what? Subvert biblical prophecy. He's trying to change and overthrow biblical prophecy, but no one can do that. That's blasphemy right there in itself, right? That's rebellion against the Father, right? Just think of a father have a son that's trying to overthrow what he's doing. That's an evil, wicked, filthy piece of trash son, right? But that's what Esau's trying to do to the Heavenly Father. Future X-Men send Wolverine back in time to 1973 to prevent an event that leads to the extinction of mutants by Sentinel robots. That's similar to the Terminator, right? They're robots, but the mutants, but they threw a lot of confusion with that because the mutants is actually the so-called blacks, Latinos, Native American Indians, because we have the special powers within us, and the Most High is going to unlock it in the future, in the end times. That's what, because when you look at it, you can see that's how they treat. When you watch the X-Men movies, the citizens and the government, they treat the mutants like niggas. That's because that's the Israelites. That's us, the so-called blacks, Latinos, Native American Indians. So right here, Looper 2012, it says a hitman in the future closes the loop by killing his future self, who has been sent back in time to be disposed of, but the plot revolves around changing the future to prevent a dark figure called the Rainmaker. See, a dark figure, aka, Yahushua is dark, the Messiah, and the Rainmaker, and Yahushua can rain. He has all power to do whatever. He can make it rain, make it thunder, lightning. And Matthew 24 speaks about how when he return, he's gonna be like the lightning that goes from the east to the west. That's like everyone gonna see his return. See, Esau, and I barely read this one when I was putting it together, but this one here is real key, very key right here. A dark figure. Yahweh is like the dark ages, but that's when we ruled. A dark figure returning. A dark figure coming, trying to prevent a dark figure coming to destroy them, right? So that's all it is. Esau not slick. And I did a video about his video game called Infamous 2, where there was he called it the beast was coming, but it was a so-called black man that had these unstoppable powers, and he was just slaughtering everything in his wake. And then the character got to get his powers up in time throughout the game for the arrival of the so-called black guy. He's kind of so the so-called enemy. Esau's enemy is we're mortal enemies. The so-called the Israelites and the Edomites, right? And our Messiah, our big brother, he's the chief one to lead the charge to get beam us up out of this hell. So now it's very heavy in the spirit. Let's see. Now we'll get Isaiah chapter 64 and verse 1. Oh, that thou wouldest rend the heavens, that thou wouldest come down, that the mountains might flow down at thy presence. You see, flowing down meaning basically like melting. Verse 2. And when the melting fire burneth, The fire causeth the waters to boil to make thy name known to thine adversaries. And the Most High's name is going to be back, not be known again in the land, because Malachi 1:14 says what the name of Yahweh of the Lord is man, what slips my mind. It's dreadful. Yahweh's name is dreadful to the heathen. So anyone talking about the Most High name, it doesn't matter, or we don't know the name, they don't know, they don't have understanding. They're dealing with a foolish deck. So and a very proud deck as well. Said to make thy name known to thine adversaries. And who are that? All the nations, that the nations may tremble at thy presence. You see, the nations, they're not worried about, they're not looking for the Heavenly Father, because they know that they're wicked, and their deeds are nothing approved of the Heavenly Father, right? So the nations are going to that's going into ultimately that fiery judgment when Yahweh shall return. Going to Luke chapter 1, and let's get verse 70. As he spake by the mouth of his holy prophets, which have been since the world began, that we should be saved from our enemies. See, the heathen nations are our enemies, as we read in Isaiah 64 and verse 2. We need to be saved from these heathen that hate us. You see, and let's go from the top again, verse 71. That we should be saved from our enemies and from the hand of all that hate us, to perform the mercy promised to our fathers. Who is that? Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And to remember his holy covenant. Nobody else. Esau doesn't have the covenant, but he's trying his best to punch holes into time and to try to change the timeline so that he can save himself, and he's trying to take the covenant. He's trying everything to try to take that covenant, but he can't. Verse 73, the oath which he sware to our father Abraham, that he would grant unto us, that we being delivered out of the hand of our enemies might serve him without fear, in holiness and righteousness before him all the days of our life. So for eternity, So, because we know the kingdom of heaven is forever and ever, a world without end too. The Israelites are a world without end. That's the kingdom of heaven. So the Most High going to save us from our enemies. And Esau's trying his best to try to make that not happen, but he can't. It's real heavy. Revelations 12 and 10. And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now is come salvation and strength and the kingdom of our power and the power of his anointed. For the accuser of our brethren is cast down. And who is that? We just read what the devil is. Who? The slanderer, false accuser, the calumniator, right? For the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before our power day and night. See? So it's going down. So the accuser, his as the lady said, all timelines had a convergence. The end result was a convergence. You can go from the east. It's like if all nations on earth they fly to New York. They all, citizens from every nation, a handful, whatever, right? For example purposes. So a few people in China, Russia, Australia, Hawaii, Africa, Europe, all throughout Africa, Europe, Asia, and Canada, South America, and Hawaii, right? And Puerto Rico, wherever. They all take a destination. They all take a flight to New York. Those are different timelines, right? Those are different lanes. They're coming from different angles, but the end destination is all what? New York. That's biblical prophecy. Esau's judgment, that's the final destination. No matter which way he tried to go, no matter which timeline he tried to go to, no matter which angle he tried to come from to try to change it, all the destinations lead to judgment. And he's mortified at that, and he mocked us, we mock him, because that balances it out. because they've been winning way too long. We've been losing way too long, but it's okay because we've been having to serve our punishment, and it's almost over. You know, all praises to Yahweh in the name of Yahweh Shah. So 2nd Ezra 6 and 9. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. You see, because when he go down, then we rise. You know, the Israelites. Esau, the father of the Edomites, the so-called white race, white nations, so-called white nations, and Jacob, Israel. He's the father. He's the father of the 12 tribes of Israel. And who was that? So-called blacks, Latinos, Native American Indians. So we'll get Isaiah again, 64 and verse 4. For since the beginning of world men have not heard, nor perceived by the ear, neither hath the eye seen, O Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, beside thee, what he hath prepared for him that waiteth for him. So, you know, it was real heavy. You know, the kingdom of heaven, very beautiful, immaculate, divine, you know, very delightful. That it's the straight gate that leads to that which is wide, and what is that? The kingdom of heaven is going to be broad and delightful. You know, it's going to be a hard trek, hard walk, but it's totally worth it. You know, it's the only thing that's worth anything. You know, that's worth something. It's the walk that we're in to please the Heavenly Father through our faith first and foremost, and rehearsing the righteous acts, keeping the commandments. So, you know, that's Esau. You know, he looked into that project, Looking Glass. He did that, and he got mortified and seen his fate. You know, he knows that he's going to die. He's trying to change it, but the wages of sin is death. You know, he's the most vile beast of the field, and you know, a vile beast can't roam the earth, you know, for eternity. They got to be put down eventually, and that's what he saw. So with that being said, hope the video is edifying. The water to the Rachak Wadash Bashim. You have a shai for another video. To the next video I say, Shalom.